afternoon, Councilmember Juarez, Gonzalez, and Councilmember Sawant. Today is a very happy day due to some extraordinary work by three people who are here. Willard Brown, the Delridge Neighborhood Development Association, Chip Nevins, Department of Parks, and Lynn Best from Seattle City Light. On behalf of Seattle Green Spaces Coalition, we want to thank them for the work that they have done to repurpose surplus property to be used for the neighborhood, for the wetlands, for Longfellow Creek, but especially for the students at the nearby STEM school. I've been there when the kids have come out now for environmental education, and they just go crazy. They love this space. They love looking for plants and exploring the wetland, and they're eager to get involved in restoring it and learn how it's connected to Longfellow Creek. So a big thank you for the efforts, and they've been a lot of work behind the scenes. They're going to make it sound simple, but it's been a lot of work. As you know, it's been challenging to find new homes for surplus land, especially because Seattle City Light is looking for fair market value for groups who want to save this as green spaces. And we would like to work with the Seattle City Light legislative team to work with their priorities for next year so that we can find some legislative fixes to make this happen, because these are precious places and we have such little open space in Seattle. We'd like to save them. So many benefits can come from them. So thank you again.
Thanks, Mary. Elaine, and then Michael Mann, followed by Megan Murphy.
My name is Elaine Ike, and I'm a member of Seattle Green Spaces Coalition. But first of all, I'd like to thank you, Shama Swant and Lorena Gonzalez, for your leadership in championing immigrant rights. As a family with first-generation immigrants, I appreciate that. Secondly, I would like to thank the Seattle City Light and the Parks Department and the city's leadership in transferring the property of the Delridge Wetlands to the Delridge Neighborhood Development Association. I've worked on the property. It's going to be a valuable piece of property and a place for students to learn. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Elena. I'm sorry for...
Thanks, Chip. Well, it didn't feel like we had all the support when we were out there struggling to find funding for the acquisition. So many of the grants that are out there do not fund acquisition, and that made it extraordinarily anxious and stressful. However, we were lucky, and we competed fairly well, and we did finally conclude the acquisition phase of the project. But since then, we have gone forward and we have competed for other grants, in particular foundation grants. So we have grants coming from King Conservation District, the Rose Foundation, Sustainable Paths Foundation, and from the Island Fund. And they provide us with the opportunity to actually contract with Pomegranate Center, who is going to oversee the community engagement and the build out of the project. There are three elements here that I think the City Council should be aware of. First and foremost, we are creating a outdoor classroom for the K-8 STEM schools so that the kids there from 3rd through 8th grade over time, it's only a 6th grade school today, but they will be adding a 7th and 8th grade in the next 2 years. Each year they add a higher level grade. And they would do their environmental education activities there on the property. We currently have 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade kids coming. There are 4 classrooms of kids. We also have kids coming from Arbor Heights Elementary. And we have kids coming from the local preschools who come there for their recreational activities. So it provides sort of an outdoor classroom as well as an outdoor space where kids can just experience the natural habitat there. The second thing we're going to do is to figure out the plumbing and to separate stormwater, which is degrading the wetland, from the water coming through the natural drainage systems there. There's an inflow culvert and an outflow culvert there that actually control the amount of water coming into the wetland itself. And so we have some plans around that, and we will be working with the city very closely. Third partner we have at this site is Seattle Public Utility, and Seattle Public Utility is doing the work to keep the natural drainage systems in the area clean and clear so that the water is flowing into the wetland in a controlled way as opposed to, as it used to be, blocked up. The ditch system was overgrown and blocked up, and water would just flow over the top of the road and bring all kinds of contaminants into the wetland. So we have a solution for that and a long plan goal for that, and we're going to move forward there. The third element of the project is to provide the kind of canopy and the reforestation necessary so that the water exiting the site will be cool and slowed, and the habitat there will be more of a natural habitat. And lastly, we're going to introduce community-supported agriculture there, and we're going to have a teaching garden as well as a permaculture demonstration garden for the community. And all the food produced there, we're going to work with Seattle TIF to figure out the best, TIF Alliance now, excuse me, the best distribution model so that the food gets to where it is most beneficial. As you all know, there is no supermarket or grocery store in Delridge. It is a healthy food desert, and this project allows us to begin to chip away at that and have the community engaged in agricultural activity where students, their families, and local community members are going to come together to grow food for the benefit of everyone in Delridge. So that's our project. We're excited. Today is a great day. I couldn't be happier. I want to say thank you to Seattle City Light. They've been the best kind of partner you could imagine. They have a staff that is as environmentally conscious and concerned as we are who live in Delridge, as the community itself. We have a tremendous amount of support from the people living around the project. They are so grateful. They come to all of our events, and we have 8 work parties scheduled for this year. 2 of the work parties we had last year, we were successful in clearing out all the blackberry infestation around the project, around the site. The blackberry infestation was so intense that it had closed the alley that was on the border of the property. So we dug it all out. We cleared the alley. We also dug out all the blackberries on the homeowners' properties that border that alley. And so now the alley is absolutely clear, and it's opened up, and the sight lines as well as the ability to drive through is restored. So there's a lot of community support for us because of that, and we hope to build on that. And that's our project. That's our story. Okay.
Sounds lovely. Councilmember Gonzalez?
I don't have any questions. Read through all of the materials and appreciate the historical context of how this work all began. So just congratulations to the department and to the neighborhood advocates for really seeing an opportunity and advocating for that opportunity. And, you know, I've lived in the West Seattle, South Park area since 2006 and spend time in the Delridge neighborhood is it's just down the hill from where I live. And so I think your observations around the needs that exist there, particularly around open space and particularly around food, healthy food in particular, is very obvious when you are spending time in that neighborhood. So I really appreciate the sort of multidisciplinary approach of the project that will begin to move the needle in a way that is incredibly positive for that part of our city.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for your work.
I would echo all of that. And did Lynn and Calvin have anything to add? No. Okay, that all sounds great. And Willard, your point about that being a healthy food desert is definitely a critical one. And in addition to this project, I hope we can also, as a city, make progress on having a unionized grocery store there. But obviously, that's part of the problem. The other part of the problem is living wage jobs, and it's a big issue, obviously.
And the neighborhood there does have a recently formed co-op
Co-op, yes.
that is